welcome back to Cult Movie Club. This is going to be a continuation of a video I did a few months ago, which was my entire VHS collection. However, I now have quite a few more. I've had to lose some as well from the previous video. 3 in total, so not many considering I've got all these. I think we lost Lethal Weapon, Fast and the Furious, and House on Haunted Hill. I gave those up. Those are going on eBay, or are on eBay as we speak. So I just want to go through this video as quick as we can, and just show off some titles of some really juicy stuff here, especially if you stay towards the end of the video. There's some really good horror stuff that I've managed to get hold of. So let's get started straight away. These are in no particular order. The first one is Raw Deal, which is a Schwarzenegger title I was missing, that I had, was one of the first titles that I had when I was a kid. I was really happy to get hold of this again, especially in this design and not like the cheap forefront design. That's not like this at all. It's got some wear on this. I think it's had some damp issues, the sleeve, but the tape's fine, I think. Yeah, there we go. Absolutely fine. Happy to get hold of that. That was pretty cheap. So there's the first one. And then after that, carrying on with Schwarzenegger, I've got Kindergarten Cop. It's not my favourite Schwarzenegger movie, to be fair. Do prefer this over Twins, though. I think this is probably one of the best comedies he did. So yeah, trying to get that. Oh, there we go. Kindergarten Cop. So pretty much got all the early Schwarzenegger ones now. There's only a couple I'm missing. Next one is a Stone Cold action classic, probably one of the best action films ever made in my opinion, especially in the 90s. Van Damme's best film, Hard Target. Again, I had this back in the day. I was eager to get hold of this again. I was looking at ex-rental versions, but yeah, they're a bit too expensive, and I saw this really cheap, so we just went with this one. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's the original release, but it's not the budget one, so it's an early one. Staying on there, we've got, this is a budget release of Universal Soldier. I have got a few of these sideways ones. I think I've got about 4 in total, and display them separate because I think they're pretty cool on their own. Yeah, this is the forefront one. So yeah, again, this was really cheap. There was a bit of damage to the box on this one, and the tape wasn't in the greatest condition, but I literally paid pennies for it. So here's one that I've been after for a while, since I started collecting these, and that is Wedlock. I had this same edition back in the day. Again, this is going towards the Rutger Hauer collection, which is looking pretty good now. There's not a lot more that I actually want. There's a few bits I'm keeping an eye on, but they'd have to be pretty cheap at this point for me to be picking them up, because obviously space is now a massive issue. But yeah, there we go. Don't know why it's upside down. Yeah, that's a pretty recent purchase. Only last weekend, actually. Bit of a birthday present to myself. Along with this, it was part of a bundle. Dolph Lundgren Dark Angel. So this is the original entertainment release. I had the gold forefront release back in the day, so I was happy to get this release because it looks much better. That artwork's crazy. Again, I was looking at ex-rental versions for this, but there was a bit more than I really wanted to pay. So I was quite happy to get that in a bundle, and the bundle was pretty reasonably priced, to be honest, considering the titles I had in it. This is another one I picked up recently, Crocodile Dundee, classic movie, classic 80s movie. Paul Hogan's great in this one. I really enjoy this. 80s through and through, and it's on the CBS all-time greats. So yeah, that's cool. I've got another sideways kind of sleeve. Got a couple of Tarantino ones here. So this is Reservoir Dogs. Like I said, I display these all together. Oh yeah, this is a later budget release, probably early 2000s, I would imagine. That's that. And then along with that, we've got Pulp Fiction. I think this is an original release. Pretty sure it is. Doesn't appear to be budget. It's got someone else's name on it, which is quite annoying, but hey ho. Don't know why you had to write your name on the tape. Another one of those sideways releases, Trainspotting. It's a great film, Trainspotting. This is actually not a budget one. I presumed it was. I just realised. This is actually the original release. The artwork was. That's just like the artwork. I thought this was a number 4 front release, but it doesn't appear to be. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, great film, Trainspotting. I've actually got that on Steelbook on Blu-ray. Right, so we're on to some X-Rentals here now. These are a mix of genres. I'm saving the horror stuff. We're going to do all the horror stuff towards the back end of the video. So let's just get these out of the way. So I've got an X-Rental, Michael Douglas in Falling Down. Michael Douglas's best film for me, by far. I also like Basic Instinct, but this is the best one, definitely. Great film. Yeah, there's that. So that's pretty cool. This is a real obscure one. Saw this movie in the early 2000s. It's called Cypher. It's a really good premise. I don't remember much about it. I remember specific scenes. I remember really enjoying it at the time. I think it's just had a Blu-ray release from Umbrella. But yeah, Vincenzo Natali, I think he did Cube. Really good film, really good. I'm after watching this now. I can find some sort of stream or maybe import 4K, seeing as I'm now 4K compatible at last. This is a really good one. This is the original canon X-Rental release of Highlander with Christopher Lambert, or Christophe Lambert, as I like to call him. Queen did a great soundtrack for this. I was after Highlander. I was looking at maybe just getting a self-free release like the original one as one, but then I ended up with this, which is far superior. It's really old, really old. It's in pretty good condition considering. Highlander is one of my favourite films. I think it's amazing. Proper cult classic. Another Christopher Lambert film. This is a real obscure one. This is called Why Me, starring Christophe Lambert and Christopher Lloyd, which is a really strange team up. It's not a bad film. I watched it recently. It's pretty good. It's a bit fluffy, but it's like an early 90s clay. It reminded me of Hudson Hawk a little bit, but not quite as stupid. But that kind of film, like a heist and comedy heist. Christopher Lloyd goes missing for a massive portion of the middle of the film, so I'm guessing they only had him for a few days. But real weird one, very strange. I'd never heard of this until recently, and I'm a bit of a Christophe Lambert fan, so very good. Onto some Dolph Lundgren movies here. This is not his film really. He's only in it for a few minutes, but Keanu Reeves' movie. Johnny Mnemonic. Cyberpunk action, late 90s action classic. It's got a stacked cast. Dolph Lundgren's great in this, proper crazy, but not enough screen time. Apparently there's a longer cut of this and he was in it more, but that's pretty extinct now, I think. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that original artwork better than the artwork they did afterwards, which made it look like The Matrix, which it's not. Next one is The Peacekeeper. Yeah, it's a late 90s Dolph Lundgren movie. It's not one of his best ones, to be fair. Roy Schneider's also in it as well. But yeah, that was good stuff. I literally had one Dolph movie on VHS, so I'm glad I've got a few now. Yeah, it's watchable. It's definitely not one of the worst ones of that period. Nowhere near his peak though. Next we've got Gone in 60 Seconds, pretty good Nicolas Cage film, late 90s. I'm not into these covers. This is when they started ruining them by, putting rental copy all over it and all this white bordering. They just don't look that great. But yeah, no, good movie. And last of these before we move on is Cuffs, Christian Slater. I love this film. This is probably Bar in True Romance. This is one of Christian Slater's best films. breaks the fourth wall all the time. He's always talking to the camera and the audience. It's a good little action comedy. Loved it back in the day. I've not seen it for a while. How it holds up, I do not know, but yeah, love it. It's a great film. Right, so we'll clear these away and then we'll get started on the next pile. Today's first couple are not really horror per se. There's a couple in here that are a bit more cult movie, but I've bundled them in here. These are like the special cardboard sleeve ones. So I'm going to do these first and then we'll get onto the sell-through horror and then the juicy ex-rental stuff. So this, picked this up really cheap. This is Enter the Dragon in the nice cardboard sleeve, which they did in the early 2000s, from the late days of VHS when DVD was taken over. So that was cool, really cool cover. Although I like the original release, it'd be nice to have that, but that will do for now. Let's see the one really cheap, that one will suffice. This I got off eBay, really cheap. This is Metropolis. This is a Eureka video. I don't know how many of these there is. But yeah, this is really nice. It's also very delicate because it's in one of those like US style sleeves. So really careful with that one. But, yeah, there's those. And then we've got Aliens Special Edition. I can never remember which cut of Aliens is the one I prefer. Every time I always forget. There's one version of Aliens that flows so much better and I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, there's that. Best Aliens film in my opinion. Crash and Burn, sequel to Robot Jox, this, if I remember correctly. Full Moon. This is the only Full Moon video that I have. I remember watching this in the early 90s. I think I owned it at one point. I can't remember, it might have been Robot Jox, but pretty sure it was this. But yeah, that's cool. That came in a bundle that I got recently. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is a classic horror movie. Why this has not had a UK Blu-ray release yet, I do not know. Hopefully it will soon, because of Arrow releasing the first one, hoping that this one follows suit. But this is like a gold selfie release. So really happy to have that. Love that film when I was a kid. Not seen it recently, but I need to. This is another one I got pretty cheap. Lost Boys. I love this cover art. This cover art's better than the DVD cover art by a mile for me. Yeah, I really like this version. Lost Boys is another film that I need to check out, so it's going on my Halloween to-do list this year, that, most definitely. These aren't really horrors, but some David Lynch films here. So we've got June, again, it's sideways art cover. This is a fluff release. Definitely not as good as obviously the more recent versions of June. However, the David Lynch one is worth watching because it's a David Lynch film, so it's not quite the same. Elephant Man, again, got this pretty cheap. This is a original Warner release. Elephant Man's a great film. It's one of those films that I didn't see till a lot later, because I thought it was just like a commercial movie, but it's actually, you can tell it's a David Lynch film right from the get-go. So yeah, very good. Right, okay, on to horror now. So Silent Madness, never seen this, got this as part of a bundle. Vinegar Syndrome did a release of this. I think it was made for 3D as well, but I've never actually watched it, so one that I should probably check out, because if I don't like it then maybe I need to move this on. But yeah, this is a old tape, very old tape. What label is this? Avatar. So yeah, there's that. Next, right, we've got some Vipco titles here. These are all Vipco now. So I've got The Beyond. It's obviously Lucio Fulci classic movie. I imagine this is ripped to shreds. 82 minutes. There'll be probably a lot missing from this version compared to the Blu-ray version. But yeah, it's got a really cool booklet in it, which advertises all the Vipco titles available at that point. This will have been like an early 90s release, so yeah, that's cool. Good to have, but yeah, I imagine it's cut up to bits. That all the good bits will be sliced out of it. Flesh Eating Mothers, I have this on the 88 Films Blu-ray. But I thought this pretty reasonable. I wanted to get a few more Vipco tapes. I had Shrunken Assassin, and I wanted to get a few more, so I had a bit of a spurt on them. Yeah, there's that one. Flesh Eating Mothers is a really bad film, but it's one of them so bad it's good. And then there's another one here. This is also known as Meat Cleaver Massacre. This is called Evil Force. The video release, the Vipco video release. Apparently it's awful. I've never seen it. I know of it. I've looked at the Blu-ray and picked it up a few times, but there's always been something else. And I've heard it's not very good. So, again, probably so bad it's good. I don't know. It's got Christopher Lee written all over it, but apparently he's a voiceover or something. He's not even really in it. This, Freddy's Nightmares. So, I had a couple of these back in the day. It wasn't this one. I can't remember which one I had. I think it was almost ripping through the sheets. I used to like these. Obviously, they're nowhere near the quality of the films. Very low budget, but they've got a certain charm to them. I saw this. It wasn't that cheap, actually. It was quite expensive. But I wanted to get one, and I decided to get this one because I liked the artwork. And I'd never seen it before. The sleeve is quite damaged at the bottom. The picture when I bought it did not look that bad. But, you know, felt as they'll do that, I suppose. But, yeah, the tape's fine. Tape's looking good. So, yeah, there's that. That's quite cool. Well, it is cool to have. I just wish it was in better condition. Witch Trap. This was part of a bundle as well. Not seen this one. It's Imperial. Mainly famous for martial arts action movies. Did some early Van Damme ones. This I think is a sequel to Witchboard, the 80s version. It just remade that. So this is on MIA. Linnea Quigley's in this. This is another reason. Right, I've kept hold of it. So yeah, there's that. Again, need to watch that. It might not be something I want to keep. Let's see. Evil Dead. So, obviously wanted to have a copy of Evil Dead, the original Video Nasty. VHS X rentals are stupidly expensive, so I was looking at sell-throughs, and I didn't want a budget release one. So I found this one. I'm not sure. I think this was like the first release after all the controversy, so probably early 90s or late 80s. So that's pretty cool. It's a Palace one, so yeah, there's no date on it. So I'm not quite sure what edition that is. But happy to have that. And then last one from these, Bad Taste, which is the original release, Bad Taste video. I had this one back in the day, got this from a car boot sale, just purely off the cover, when I was about 12 something. Obviously shouldn't have watched it. Hard 18 this. Great, not sure if it's horror, it's more of a comedy, with some really horrific gore, but yeah, classic. And really glad I did put some bids on a budget for front release and lost, and then this came up 2 weeks later, and I was so happy that I'd lost that one, because this is like the original one, and I got this cheaper than the budget release went for a couple of weeks before, so winner. Right, we're just going to go straight onto the X rentals now, so let's get cracking. This is a Rutger Hauer one of my favourite Rutger Hauer films, A Split Second. Wanted a copy of this. I was looking originally to get the double bill of Wedlock and Split Second, but it's really expensive. It was cheaper to do what I've done, to get like this and the sell-through, than it was to get that sell-through double pack. And it's really cool to have this on X rental. So that's definitely one of my faves. This is a weird one. This is Death of a Snowman. I used to have this. I picked this up from I think it's like it wouldn't have been Poundland, but it was like a pound shop in the early 90s. Well, yeah, it was the early 90s, wasn't the 80s. They used to have like dump bins full of like VHS with the, you know, these cardboard sleeves, like the US versions, but they're all budget titles. I got Demons out of there once, I remember that. That was always in there. But this was one as well that was always in there, and I always thought the cover was really cool. I did watch the film back in the day. I only remember portions of it. I think it's like an exploitation flick. I remember it being really badly dubbed. Saw this cheap online, and this is an ex-rental version. So I got hold of that, 1987. I think the film's like late 70s though. There's a reason I have this. It's not because the film's great, because it definitely is not. It's probably one of the worst. It's actually only about 60 minutes long as well. Yeah, it's one of those really shot on video, pretty poorly made. But I remember my mate getting a global video account, and for some reason he rented, of all the titles that he could have rented back then, he rented this, and decided not to take it back. So ended up with like fines and weren't able to go back to rent anymore, all for this. So yeah, but I saw this version and actually got like a global thing in it. Global video was a great shot back in the day. Over in the north, you could rent 3 films. I think it was £7, 3 new films, and you paid for them when you took them back. So if it was like 3 days before payday, you could go get 3 films, and you didn't have to pay for them until you returned them. Hellborn. This is also known as something else. It's slipped my mind at this present moment, but it's this is a UK video title. The film is actually not called that. I've seen bits of this on YouTube. I need to watch the whole thing. The thing is, why I've not watched it on YouTube properly is because it's cut up to bits. So I obviously got to watch the full 90-minute version and not the 70-minute version that's on YouTube. It's probably cut out all the good stuff. So I need to watch this version. I think it's called Night Angel. Actually, yeah, Night Angel. Apparently there's some really good gore effects in it and stuff. So again, need to get on that. Move Halloween. The Mangler. This is one I got out of a bundle. Robert England, and it's directed by Toby Hooper, based on a story by Stephen King. So that's stacked. I've never seen the Mangler, so I need to get hold of the Mangler because it's one that Arrow have released that I've looked at. I just need to see it on the shelf cheap enough. It's not one you see very often. I'm going to do, I'll be picking that up. This is one I got really cheap. Death Warmed Up. Not seen this one either. Like, the cover is really cool though. I bought it primarily for the cover. I'll just be honest with you now. Medusa home video. Don't know much about it. Australian film. Again, this is another one you need to watch. It's an old tape. So that's really cool. Another one that I've not seen. We're on a bit of a theme here. Devouring Waves. I only picked this up the other day. Medusa home video again. Got this pretty cheap. This is directed by, I think, Lamberto Bava, who did Demons. Also known as Devilfish, which is a better name than Devouring Waves, if you ask me. I think they were trying to pull it off as like a serious horror film. Obviously, you call your film Devilfish, it's not going to take it seriously. It's an Italian rip-off of Jaws, that's all it is. But yeah, that's cool to have. Here's another one, The Fly 2. Saw this very cheap. There's a bit of damage to the cover, unfortunately, but seriously, the amount I paid for it, I didn't even mind. The tape was a bit ropey, so I had to go up cleaning it, and in doing so, the tape was that eroded that it was just snapped, unfortunately. So at some point, I need to get this open and do a bit of a repair job. I might have to splice it, I don't know, or I might just leave it. Rather than make it any worse than it already is. Right, so on to the last 3 now. These are pretty big titles. First one is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. I like this one. I think I prefer this over number 4. However, I have recently come to love number 4. I didn't really like it back in the day. My least favourite. And it probably still is, but I like it more these days. But I do like this one. I think it's pretty dark. Obviously, there is some humour, and the storyline is pretty ridiculous, but some pretty dark moments in it. It's got some pretty gothic moments, and that scene with a motorbike is amazing. So this, obviously, I want number 4, because number 4, the artwork to number 4 is amazing. The artwork is probably better than the film. But, again, extortionate prices on eBay. It's going to be one of them that I'll have to wait and see if it crops up anywhere. But yeah, amazing to have that. Gets even better now. So part 3, Dream Warriors, which is, let's face it, probably the best one after number 1. I like number 1 and number 3 probably the same, and they alternate for me. So, you know, I probably do 1 over 3 if you had the gun to my head, but I like this one just as much. I had this back in the day in the 1. And it looked like it was in a cave, you know, on the sell-through release. But yeah, that's in pretty good condition considering the age. Actually worth a lot of money. Would have cost us $79.95 to buy back in the day. Last but not least, incredibly happy with this one. Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. I love this one. Not quite as good as 1 and 3, but I love this one. It's proper dark. It's probably the one that goes, apart from number 1, it goes harder with the horror than all the other ones after this. It got panned, and it had a bad reputation until recently. It's made a bit of a comeback and it's now on people's favourites lists, but I really like it. And super happy to have this next rental. You know, it's proper super happy. I wanted it because that sleeve is amazing. These early Nightmare sleeves are really good. It was really good. That is all the additional pickups that I have made since the previous video. Like I said, I lost a few from the previous video. They've gone on eBay, and I've picked these up. The likelihood of me keeping all these is slim. However, I am hoping that I can convert my attic at some point and make some sort of like physical media room. Have like a little corner of the room what's just dedicated to VHS. That's my dream. Whether it comes true or not, we'll see. I'm going to try and keep hold of these, but I might have to lose some eventually. We'll have to see, especially if I get hold of any more. Stuff's just going to have to come out. Keep an eye, if you're not already, I've got an eBay store, Rob's Vintage VHS. Follow us on there because I do list stuff quite often, and especially with October coming up, I've got some really nice stuff that not personally I've thought about keeping myself, really toyed with, but I just can't with all this stuff. So I'm going to be putting it on eBay, and it's proper nice stuff. So get following me on there. I'll leave a link in the description and keep an eye out for that stuff going on. Thank you very much for watching this video and the previous one if you did. If you've seen this video and not the previous one, then check out the previous video. It probably just should come up after this one. But thanks again for watching, and yeah, check out eBay if you're interested in getting hold of some nice stuff. Thank you.